my screen. Let me know if
looks like we have not published the last two recordings.
Oh, the first one is for today. So it's the 23rd one
that we didn't do yet.
I have to see where it's at. Okay, are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes, we are now.
Okay, perfect. So this is the March 9th Ortelius General meeting, working group meeting, and please sign yourself in. I threw the link in the chat. We'll have to repost it because the way Zoom works again. So just we'll start with the marketing and the blogathon. Tracy, or who else do we have on?
Well, we need to talk about the recognition program and what's happening there. That's probably the most important for this group.
Okay.
Want me to go ahead and take that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You definitely have, and just change up the notes if you want.
Okay. So we, I've been working with Garima, as you all know, about our recognition program. We need to have, so she's looking to have 2 people step up from this group to help with this. So we're gonna have her sort of lead the charge around the committee for building out a recognition program. But we need someone to be a sort of a, I guess you call them a committee chair for both of the tracks. So we have the what did we call them? Community champions, which are our developers, and then we have ambassadors, and then we have this other track called our legends, which are participating in both. So we need someone to step up and take over the community track, and we need someone to take over the ambassador track. And those 2 individuals will work with Garima to come up with what the level should be. You know, what do you do to get your first badge, second badge, third badge? And those 2 individuals, the three people in that committee, will make decisions about who gets to be considered a legend and get badges in the legend category. So we need somebody other than me or Steve to really step up to take it on. Siddharth, you're raising your hand. You're up for this?
Yes.
Which would you like to do, the community committer, the community champions, or the ambassadors?
I'll go with ambassador, and if needed, I can go with community as well.
Okay, so we'll put you down for the ambassador track. Anybody want to step up to work on this for the developer, for our committers, basically, the community champions? And you can think about it and let me know. And
there's some other people that aren't on the call today that we'll reach out to as well.
And so the goal then would just be to really take a look at what the how the reward system should look, what the how many pull requests, for example. The first blog gets you your first badge. Second badge, you have to do some kind of, I don't know what they're going to be, but it's going to fall into a category like that. And then those individuals will be who's going to be issuing the badges. We don't have a lot automated right now. We're hoping that we can. And Neetu may want to take over the community track. I don't know. She is on vacation right now, so we can't find out. But if anybody else wants to do it, think about it and step up and hit one out to the cheap seats for us, because the community one's going to be probably a really important one. Ambassador one, you're going to have to do some work on really recruiting ambassadors, I think. The community one, or it's just going to take some time to figure out what those the stages are, and I think that you can, and whoever's doing it can work with Steve to come up with that as well. We can get some feedback from Marky.
Do you have Garima's document? I want to put that in here.
Let me look really quick. I don't know if she shared it with everybody. Let me see.
Well, we can put it in there later.
Okay, so that's where we're at. And then is anybody, we need a white version of our logo. I'm going to try to create it, but if it doesn't work, I might reach out to the community to see if anybody's good at creating a white version of the alien. And that is for swag for the CD Foundation.
Oh, so it's going to look like the tech.
So you want a single color that's white to be able to put on a colored background sort of thing?
Yeah, and it's got to be in an SVG format, I think, and it just needs to be white. We can't hear you, Steve. I see your lips moving.
Okay, so the Tecton one is what Tracy's talking about. This is what they did for the swag at a CDCon a couple years ago. So it's just the white, so they can stick it on any color T-shirt, basically. And SVG because they can then scale it to any size without losing any of the resolution. And we do have a SVG version out there that is in the green.
And is it only in the CDF artwork, or did we check it into our repository? I need to make sure it's checked in someplace.
I think the only one I know of is out it may be in one of the doc directories, but it's definitely in the CDF artwork directory. So
yeah,
if you go
the pull request has not been successful yet.
Yeah.
I will check it in. It'll get put into, where can we put it where it's easy for everybody to find, Steve?
We have a, oops.
Yeah, I mean, if it's already in an SVG, I mean, I can convert the colors. That's like 5 minutes of work.
Ah, sweet, because it'll take me a lot longer than that because I have no idea how to use Adobe Illustrator.
Or go into the code and
oh, I can't do any of that. I'm completely incapable.
Yeah, Inkscape is my tool of choice, but yeah, SVG is easy to deal with. So if somebody can send me the file, I'm happy to clean it up.
So
okay,
we can
put it in. Sending it to you right now.
We can put it in the outreach.
And if you don't have that file, even I can create it from JPG or PNG to the format needed. Only in case if you don't have the right format.
Well, we'll let Christopher tackle it first, and we'll put it in the outreach. And if you run into issues, Christopher, just let Sergio know, and he can help you out.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we'll drop it in after the meeting. I'll drop it in the outreach repo for you, and I'll send you a message on Discord letting you know it's out there.
Thank you.
Thanks for stepping up to do that.
Well, I'm just emailing it. I'm doing it old style. I just emailed you.
Well,
that's fine too.
I'll put it in the repo so we don't lose it again.
I sent you both the stacked version and the horizontal version.
And was that, did you send the SVG?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you want to talk about the blogathon real quick?
Well, we need blogs. That's all I need to say. We need blogs. And now you can create it in Markdown and submit it yourself. But I'm always happy to do that for you if that's not something you want to do. But we definitely need blogs. We have 3 weeks, and we need blogs.
So I know Siddharth was doing some videos and stuff. So
yes, Siddharth did some really awesome videos, and he's going to do a blog around those videos, and they're all about the basic things to become a contributor,
which is really cool.
Yeah.
So the link on how to submit will still, because we have such a, we're wrapping up towards the end of the month. Well, if you don't want to do a pull request against the website, just go ahead and follow the directions in the how to submit. document, and we'll just go through that process as well. We're not going to try to overcomplicate this.
No, but if you want to use the blog as a way to learn how to update the website, Thursday morning, Steve's going to do a training on it, and we will record it, so it'll be out there. So if it's something you want to take on, it's a good place to start and how to update the website.
Yeah, and let me just put that in here. So like Tracy said, the invite's been out there for a bit. It's on, I don't know if it's on the Ortelius shared calendar, but I did send out the invite to the Google group, and most people have responded whether they're coming or not going to be able to make it. It will be an hour long, and we'll go over how to update the website, how to run it locally, and those types of things as part of that process. And we are changing on the back end part of the oh, here comes Neetu.
Yay!
On the back end of it, I've been working with Owen to clean up some of the back end part and start focusing on some of the SEO. And it looks like we're going to have to basically run an Nginx server with a page speed module in it to really do the SEO types of things that we need. So there's a issue out there, and I reached out to Natch to see if he has time to go ahead and look at updating the build to do a multi-stage build to enable a lot of the SEO that we're looking for.
Uncle, login kar
Some updates on CDCon. Everything's been submitted through the CDF, and it's now in the hands of Google to decide.
You mean GSOC?
Sorry, GSOC.
And CDCon is done, and I have seen the submittals and gave everybody who I know a 5 since I was on the selection committee. So I think Ortelius had a good handful of submissions, which is great.
So on the GSOC, overall, there's 20 mentors across the 5 projects that were out there. We'll see what Google's going to slot us for. I believe the next step is I'm assuming that all the CDF will be accepted in their application to Google, and then they'll go on the other side where they'll have people start applying to GSOC from the development side, and where they'll start publishing out the projects, and people will apply for the different projects within the CDF that they want to work for the summer. It is a paid engagement through Google.
And then April, we have the She Codes Africa, and we did sign up for that. We may have 2 mentees. I'm not sure how many we're going to get, but we still have to come up with a project for that. And I think Steve has some ideas, and Sasha, I think you and Steve can come up with something that we can make sure that they're successful with. I think just creating a report in Python and then getting it created as a container, as a microservice would be all we need to do for that.
So that's going to happen. That starts in April, right?
Yep. And anybody else who would like to do anything? Yeah.
If anybody's in the closer to the GMT time zone, please, if you want to be a mentor, let me know and we'll get you set up with that. It's not going to be anything complicated. The women are just learning. So it's not going to be like we're going to have somebody that's had a job programming for a year or two and they're coming along. They're, from what I can gather, is they're coming from more the university side, learning how to code, and they're looking for some practical applications to work on. Some things that are happening out there. There's a couple. Tracy, what's this? The best practices? Is that still
so there's a best practices working group. They would like, what they're trying to do is create a standardized kind of best practice format for the CD Foundation. It's a big task because there's a lot of best practices depending on the particular industry you're in. The best practices for gamers is completely different than, say, banking. But if it's something that you're interested in getting your name out there, getting published, working on that best practices project would be a good way to do that. There's also the events in CD. And then there's a GitOps. The CNCF has a GitOps working group. So those are, if anybody's interested in any of those working groups, let me know. Just don't know where everybody's head is in terms of what they want to, where they want to put a focus to. Now, the reason why the GitOps is, well, both the events and the GitOps is interesting because in terms of events, Ortelius will need to create an event. So we're going to have to know, what protocol we should be following, and that's part of what that events group is about. And in the same way, we do have for 2021, we will be creating a GitOps integration. So those are two good kind of side groups to be involved in to really understand what we're going to need to do for both creating event listener or creating an event for a standard listener and for integrating with GitOps in whatever way we plan on doing that, which I think is generating a YAML file, and instead of deploying it with Helm, we'll check it in and to the correct repository, which would solve a big problem for a lot of people who are trying to run, do kind of that infrastructure as code and GitOps methodology.
Yeah, there's I'll hunt down the links, but there's the meeting happens twice a week, and they just got approval from the CDF to be their own SIG. And a good demo is one that we did for one of our meetups around Kepton. I don't know how you spell Kepton.
KEPTN. Yeah. And if Andy Grimmer calls it Captain.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Then from updates from the architecture and marketplace side, those working groups, we are focusing on the service catalog as our next project. Component sets will be right following in the heels of that. And the GitOps is still in progress. I'm still thinking about that, and I'll be reaching out to everybody about their experience around GitOps. I know we have some new people that have joined that are familiar with like Argo CD. I have a feeling we're going to have to tailor the Ortelius GitOps solution around Argo, even though there are better GitOps solutions out there. Like Rancher has one called, was it Fleet? Yeah.
Fleet.
And
Terraform has one.
Yeah, so there's a bunch out there, but the buzz is around Argo, so we'll probably be stuck around that front.
Yeah, it was interesting because I've been talking to people a lot, and some of them will say, well, we use Terraform or they use Rancher to do major upgrades to the infrastructure, but they use Argo for application releases.
And let's see.
Sergio, do you have an opinion on that?
My opinion is that I have it in bold over Argo right now. As I mentioned, Argo is in GA right now, I think so over OpenShift. So I need to jump over that. Maybe I can provision some lab to get a better experience about it. Maybe I can do like a tour, like a video to have more insight about how Red Hat is using Argo, like by default inside of OpenShift. So I'm going to know that, like, that's for me.
Yeah, and one of the things that came up on the events working group was Andreas from, I want to say IBM, who's on the Tecton project, was talking about doing a demo around the events between Tecton and Argo as an example of stuff. Because I know Red Hat is embracing Tecton pretty big as well as part of your solutions, right, in OpenShift?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a lab for Tecton. I'm going to have the same in one lab, but either way, I will have one for each other. I'm going to try it and record something. Maybe we can discuss for next meeting.
Yeah.
Because that is one I think we need to get our heads into sooner or later. The sooner I think we embrace GitOps, the better it will be.
And then just a reminder that we have the Trello boards out there, and if you need to get access to them, just get to the invite here. Tracy, I did see Garima did join in. Why don't we circle back around to her?
Hey, Garima.
Hello.
Thank you. Hi. So we did talk about the recognition program. Siddharth has stepped up to be your chairperson for the ambassador group. We talked about Neetu. Neetu, you are on the call now, but you got in late. So let me tell you what I'll let Garima tell you what we're up to in terms of looking for 2 individuals to help her with that effort.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically what we discussed was, if you remember, there was a three categories which we created for the recognition and contribution program. And one of the categories was the community category, where we have people who will mainly contribute with, let's say, source code, or reviewing the source code, having closed open issues and working on technical debt all along, right? So that is one category. Second category was the ambassador category, where we would look forward for creating content, training material, writing blogs, ensuring that we have community connections through webinars and so on and so forth, right? And the third part was the legends part, which will be like amalgamation of both these, and the persons who are tagged as legends are like contributors to both these categories, which is often rare to find. So that's why we call it them legends, right? So the community, the ambassador program, we actually I think Tracy's mentioned that Siddharth has stepped up to be the manager for the ambassador group. That's great. I've been working with Siddharth, and I think that's a great pick. We also discussed about the community manager, which will be like more focused on the first category. And I guess, Tracy, we were vouching for Neetu's name there, right?
Yes, since Neetu, you've already started looking at, watching pull requests and doing that kind of work. We figured that you were the kind of the
Sure.
perfect candidate to do that. Initially, what we'll need is to figure out what the different levels are within the community champions. We'll need to understand what they need to do to get an entry, the bronze badge, and then the silver badge, and then the gold badge. And between you and Siddharth and Garima, you guys will have to decide who gets to qualify for a Legends badge.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll work with Garima.
Exactly. So I'll have to work with you, Neetu, to understand a little bit more how to craft these kind of batches and segments, which we were discussing already. And the material is there on the PowerPoint, just to kind of brainstorm and ideate a little bit. And Siddharth, it's the same thing with you. I think we'll have to craft some batches and some further, you know, categories. So we thought that, you know, it is great that you guys decide how should it work rather than we from outside decide. That's something which we will have to collaborate and bring it together, you know, in one way. So I'll connect with you both, set up a doodle invite and see what works for all of us, and let's take it from there.
And then what we'll do is once they get those levels set up, we'll have them present it to this group so everybody can say yay or nay, give it one last look and say that looks too steep or that looks too easy, kind of finding the middle of the road, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
And we will have a recognition program. Our goal is March 31st, so we have 3 weeks yet to get this sorted out.
No worries, we'll reach there.
Okay, I have a question. So right now we have a blogathon going on. Where does that fall? Does that fall in ambassador track or community track? And
it would fall under ambassadors.
Okay, and will the badging be supposed to work for that too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and in fact, the thought was, for the most part, your first blog gets you your first badge.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good.
As in the ambassador track.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And I'm hoping that we can actually create a blog on the rewards and recognition program. When we, Tracy and myself, actually were dwelling into this, how to craft this, we did not find a lot of support, which has been like put together in this way, what we have been doing. So I think this blog will also serve the community to ensure that they take the learnings from what we have done, and probably that can be one of the possibilities.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be happy to help with that too.
Fabulous. Thank you. Okay, and that takes us to the top of the hour. It's been our half hour, I should say. Any other items that the community needs to chat about that we did not cover? You're on mute again, Steve.
The only thing I need is we need to get that link to the document for the recognition program out there to everybody.
Oh, I did. It's under shared. See where it says tracks? It says shared doc.
Okay.
There it is.
So click here for the details.
Yeah. And then just a reminder, again, since we've started this, we have not done a real big push around coding efforts. April will change that because we're going to start our a hackathon that we are going to be mentoring, and then we also want to kick off in April the if you go back to your doc, Steve.
Oh.
We want to kick off getting these data elements and additional screen changes for support teams. And there is a why don't you find the doc and put your doc in there.
Oh, okay.
So come April 1st, we will start creating issues, and we're going to start in terms of the architecture team, and in this team, we're going to start talking about actually doing programming. We're all going to be focused on doing programming, which is what we've been slowly trying to turn the open source community to doing. And I think that this is a really good first project for us. And we may add in April, we may have one of the report for She Codes Africa based on that new data. So there's the data elements for the service catalog. We still have a lot to do in terms of figuring out what that front end screen is going to look like. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty busy. Do we need to add tabs? Do we need to put it all on one screen? So that will be what we'll be spending probably April and May talking about on the architecture side. And then from there, we'll probably jump into GitOps, and we'll have, if we do Summer of Code, we'll be thinking about integration with Spinnaker and Argo.
So just so you know, if you're looking for the new coding, there is a project out here called Service Catalog. And these are the issues that will, I still have a couple more, maybe about 3 or 4 more to add in here. But these are going to be the issues that we're going to start with. And also we'll be tying in those microservices that we started with a while ago. Like Sasha, you were and Karam are working on some microservices. We're going to bring those back into the fold as well and finish those off. So that's going to be, I'm going to move those into this project as well. So everything will be underneath this project. So the project will have a Trello board just from the coding side. So we can kind of watch what we got going on.
And the reason why this project is going to be important is because we need to really work out any of the issues in terms of being a contributor to the code base. Because this is going to be the changes for the support catalog, the service catalog data is going to be a lot easier than what we have to do for GitOps or what we're going to have to do for those component sets. And those are minor compared to what we'll need to do when we start working on the marketplace, which is the more exciting thing. That's going to be a bigger project, but we'll have our ducks in a row and everybody will know what they're doing by then. That's the goal.
Okay. Sorry, I interrupt.
No problem.
No worries.
I don't know. I'm changing too much the topic, but I already got the announcement about GitOps over OpenShift. I'm copying the link to the chat. It was announced as technical preview on February 24th, so it was like 2 weeks ago. There is a video. Maybe we can do some comments over that video because it's practical overview, technical overview. Maybe over that we can, I don't know, say like we need to do.
So it looks like OpenShift is going to. It looks like OpenShift is going to standardize on the Argo CD format, their operator.
Yeah, usually we put it on over the old OLM lifecycle as operator. After that, we standardize as a module inside of OpenShift, and when it started just working as default tooling inside of OpenShift. So it's pretty much that.
Do you think is that going to mean that OpenShift's going to have an easy way or a standard way of installing the Argo CD GitOps operator?
Yeah, by default, we usually put like a standard way to implement it. We call that the supported way to implement it. So we are going to take responsibilities about implementing GitOps in that way.
Okay, super.
So it's a start.
and does that address like the Terraform level, or is it just the Argo CD level?
Argo CD
is mostly application based, right? You know, what's in the cluster.
Yeah, but Argo CD was introduced inside of Red Hat as a tool for multi-cluster, how to say, multi-cluster like standardization, like having multiple clusters with the same situation at app level.
Got it.
So it's going to be interesting because we already have advanced class management. That is one cluster of Kubernetes, like controlling other Kubernetes cluster, is already doing like multiple deployment of apps. So I'm really curious how this multi-deployment level at Kubernetes level is going to mix with the Argo CD. So
right.
I have to check all that.
Yeah, let us know what you find, because I'm interested in understanding that world as well.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do the double click behind this overview. That is really quick. I'm going to try to check what is the magic inside about some operation over there.
Yeah. And just for you folks that didn't see, Garima did put a call for papers for, which one is it? DevOps Summit coming up. I believe it's in Canada. But look at the DevOps Summit if you're interested in adding some more doing a presentation for that. And it's the DevOps Summit is November 8th and 9th.
Yeah, and thank you everybody who did submit talks for CDCon. It was great to see so many people, select Ortelius as a topic.
And that's one of the weird things. The more we talk about this, Ortelius, and the more we get out there, the faster we'll grow, and the more we'll be seen as the standard to go to. Because it's weird, like when you're like the first out there, you kind of get to set the standard, and that's kind of what's happening with the Argo side. They're kind of setting the standard because they're one of the first ones in the CDF side, even though they weren't the first one for a GitOps operator. That was Flux D out of Weaveworks, but that's on the CNCF side. So it's a weird dynamic. But the more we can talk about Ortelius and what it can do, the more you'll get recognition.
And the bigger we'll be able to grow our community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's been 8 minutes past due. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time. And thank you to Siddharth and Need2 and Grima for picking up on the recognition program, and Sergio, and thanks for the work on this Argo. And of course, Christopher, thank you for saving me a lot of time on that white image.
And, go ahead and look for those who want to start coding. Look at that project out there in the Git repo and start. You should be able to sign yourself an issue, and I'll work with you on the details of where we need to get started. Because I think I have to create some repos and stuff like that, but we'll get going on it. Should be pretty quick.
Awesome.
Alrighty, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey,
Have a good day.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.